Kyle is calling for you. Hurry up and get to the hospital. No way, I mean that kid is. I glance over at my son Mike, deeply engrossed in his studies. There's no reason for me to rush to the hospital for someone I barely know. What are you saying? Mike is right here in front of me, isn't he? Oh, my words seem to finally register with Sam on the other end of the line. Sorry, I thought you meant Mike. Yeah, well, we'll discuss everything when I get home. Sam was clearly caught off guard. Did he really think he could keep it hidden all these years? I know everything, Sam. Hold on. Ignoring Sam's plea, I hung up the phone. Let's get to work, I declared, rolling up my sleeves and standing up. I'm going to make sure they regret this. My name is Kelly. I'm 49 years old and work in an office where I recently received a promotion that reignited my passion for my job. If it weren't for reconnecting with my husband at this company where I started as a fresh graduate, I might not be married today. Sam was a senior during my college days, but we hardly knew each other then. He was just one of the helpers at the freshman orientation camp I attended. After joining the company, I didn't even remember him for a while, fully immersed in my work. It wasn't until the new employee welcome party that Sam approached me, sparking my memory. Weren't we in the same orientation group in college? Don't you remember? Ha, sorry. It's okay. I always thought you were pretty, even back then. That's how our conversations began, and from the next day, Sam would wave at me whenever we crossed paths. It started with sharing snacks, then lunches, until we began dating. I will make you happy. I want us to date with marriage in mind, Sam confessed about 6 months into our relationship. By then, I was deeply in love with him and gladly accepted. After 2 years of dating and introducing each other to our families, we got married. Our love wasn't fiery, but it was a steady, contented time that only grew happier with the birth of our son Mike. Marrying Sam felt like the best decision of my life. But things started to change when Mike entered middle school. Sam's behavior shifted. He was transferred to a new department, and his workload with overtime and weekend work increased. My department is busier than yours, he'd defend preemptively, even though I hadn't questioned him. It did seem hectic, and I convinced myself he wouldn't have time for an affair. I pushed my doubts aside. Yet Sam's late returns became a recurring issue. Balancing Mike's needs and household chores, I tried to cut back my homework until Mike went to college. When I approached my boss, hoping to reduce my hours, they explained the workload couldn't afford it. I'm quite competent at my job, working twice as hard as others. If I leave now, we'll handle it. My boss suggested remote work and a flexible schedule instead, so I started working from home. When I told Sam, his response shocked me. Well, then you can handle everything at home. I'm too busy, you know? I'm working hard too. I don't mind picking up more slack, but managing everything alone is overwhelming. I argued, but Sam didn't listen. As promised, he started arriving home even later after I began working remotely. Every night, he returned reeking of alcohol, sometimes with traces of perfume. He must be out drinking with colleagues at nightclubs. I suspected, but I tolerated it. Then one day, I found lipstick on his shirt and confronted him. There's lipstick here. Whose is it? Oh, a woman sat close to me at a party. Maybe it's hers. Are you serious? I was disgusted, not jealous. I thought to myself, from then on, I ignored the lipstick stains on Sam's shirts. 3 years of this, and by the time Mike was a high school senior, any love I felt for Sam had faded. We were more like roommates. Some things are unforgivable, even when love is gone. Where are you going? Just out for a bit. No matter how busy we are, we always have dinner together as a family on Mike's birthday. I'd even made a reservation at a restaurant, I said, but Sam just headed to the door alone. Wait, today is Mike's birthday, you know. So what? It's just the day he was born, Sam replied casually. His words stunned me. He used to cherish anniversaries before we got married, especially celebrating our child's birthday, no matter how old they got. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Oh, okay. Sam left without another glance at me. As soon as the front door closed, tears started flowing. That's it. I want a divorce. The words slipped out, but they echoed my true feelings. Mike and I enjoyed dinner together, then stayed at my parents' house. I didn't contact Sam, and with no calls or messages from him, it seemed he hadn't come home yet. A father who neglects his son's birthday and leaves without notice is better off not being around for Mike's sake. I made my decision and shared it with my parents. They understood after hearing my story. With no intention of returning home, finding a new place became my priority. Fortunately, I earn above average, and since my department primarily works remotely now, working from home poses no inconvenience. I began house hunting while continuing to work. Perhaps buying a house might be a good move. Viewing small, cozy homes filled me with excitement for the first time in a while. Then, one day, I decided to visit a property. Little did I know, this decision would hasten my divorce from Sam. It's a nice place and close to the station, I noted. The area was near the university Mike hoped to attend. Currently, our commute was an hour, so living closer made sense. Mike is striving to get into my alma mater. I don't want to add unnecessary burdens. We'll move once he's in, I thought, pausing at a nearby shopping mall. Hey, wait up. Ha! I instinctively ducked when I heard Sam's voice nearby. He was waving at someone ahead. Curious, I followed his gaze and nearly gasped aloud. Daddy, hurry, hurry. I recognized the woman and a boy about 4 years old. Sam approached them with a gentle smile, a picture-perfect happy family on a holiday outing. It struck me then, the timeline of Sam's detachment and neglect matched the age of the boy. He was Sam's child, and the woman his mistress. I couldn't help but let out a bitter laugh. Despite my fading love for him, I had never imagined he would cheat. But as Mike's mother, I couldn't afford to be shocked and stand still. I discreetly took a photo of the three of them and left. Later, while on the train, I searched for a detective agency and visited one near our house. I need to hire someone to investigate my husband, Sam, and another person, I stated, handing over the photo I had taken earlier. Afterward, I returned home and resumed my usual household tasks. Mom, are you okay? You look pale. I'm just a bit tired. Don't worry about me. I can help. Don't be silly. I'm fine. I couldn't let Mike see my distress. I put on a brave face and smiled. But inside, a rage unlike any I had ever felt was brewing. A few weeks later, the detective contacted me with a completed report. I went to their office and reviewed the documents. As expected, the boy was confirmed to be Sam's child, and he had acknowledged paternity. It was devastating, but among the documents, there was a glimmer of hope, a piece of evidence that would help me send them both to hell. I decided to wait until after Mike's university acceptance before taking action. Over the next few months, I kept the detective monitoring Sam and his mistress closely. It cost money, but that didn't matter. I'd add it to the alimony later. Sam, careless about hiding anything, paraded his mistress and child around various places. The mall visit seemed merely coincidental. Her house was just a few minutes' walk from ours, and it was under Sam's name. A cruel proximity, mocking both Mike and me. Unforgivable, I muttered to myself. I'll make them bow their heads before me and Mike. With that determination, I began formulating my plans, intending to execute them after Mike's university acceptance announcement. I gathered evidence bit by bit, keeping that goal in sight. On the day Mike received his university acceptance, he was studying in the living room, glancing nervously at his computer. I watched him anxiously. It should be any time now. My heart raced as the phone rang. I hurried to answer it. It was Sam on the line. Kyle is calling for you. Hurry up and get to the hospital. No way. After all, that kid is. I glanced at my son studying. There's no reason for me to rush to the hospital for a stranger. What are you talking about? Come quickly. Mike is right here in front of me, isn't he? Uh-oh. It seemed my words finally made Sam realize whom he was calling. Oh, sorry. I thought you were Mike. That's fine. We'll discuss our future when I get home. Sam was left speechless. Did he think he could keep it hidden for these 4 years? I know everything, Kelly. Wait a moment. Ignoring Sam's plea, I hung up. Well then, let's get this done, I said, rolling up my sleeves and standing up. I'm going to make him regret it. After ending Sam's call, Mike turned to me with a smile. Mom, I did it. I got accepted. Really? That's amazing. Well done. Mike and I celebrated, holding hands. Later, as we savored the moment, Mike grew serious and spoke up. Now that I'm accepted into college and not a kid who needs his father anymore, you should divorce Dad. Mike, you knew? Yeah, I knew. I was taken aback by Mike's words. It turned out he had seen Sam and his mistress walking affectionately with a baby on his way back from school. Initially, he thought it was an acquaintance, but after several sightings, he realized it was an affair. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to upset you. Thank you, Mike. Mom, it's okay. I had always seen him as my sweet little boy. But Mike had matured so much. I felt proud yet somewhat ashamed as a parent. At that moment, the front door swung open. "I'm home." Sam entered the living room, visibly nervous. Both Mike and I regarded him with cold stares. "Sam," he froze in his tracks, attempting to act nonchalant. Sam forced a smile and turned to Mike. "So, studying hard? Which college are you aiming for?" Sam seemed oblivious that Mike was already in his senior year. Mike's gaze hardened even more. Sensing the tension, Sam snapped, "What's with that look? I'm your father who supports us, Mom." "Actually, I've been pitching in," Mike interjected calmly. Flustered, Sam looked at Mike, who pointed to his computer. "I got accepted to university today." "Oh right, you're at that age now. How did it go? Do you need me to?" Sam was clearly caught off guard by Mike's assertiveness, gaping at him. "Anyway, why are you back?" "Mom and I are going out for dinner. You should go to your mistress and her kid." "You knew?" Sam stood there, stunned that his secret was out, despite living so close. Mike looked at him with disdain. "A father who doesn't cherish Mom isn't much of a father. From now on, I'll take care of Mom. You should agree to a clean divorce," Mike declared. Sam, visibly shaken by the suggestion of divorce, turned to me for support. But there was no way I would help him. "If you can at least pay for college, there's no reason for us to stay married." Sam broke down in tears, kneeling before me. "I've never seen a less sympathetic heroine," I said coldly, looking down at him. "Mom, I want steak for dinner." "Sounds good," but as we discussed dinner plans, Sam suddenly perked up. "I know a great place. Let's celebrate and make amends." I couldn't understand why I should reconcile with a man who betrayed me. Mike seemed to share my sentiments. "Didn't you hear? Mom and I are going alone." "That's right, and I'd rather not go to a place you took them." Sam, unaware that his secret was out, looked at us in surprise. The detective had informed me about the restaurant Sam frequented, so I knew exactly where he was suggesting. "Why should we go to the place you took your mistress? It's distasteful and bad luck." My words clearly irked Sam, but he stood by his suggestion. Sam's face flushed red with anger as he glared at me and started shouting, "It's because of your attitude that Mike is distant with me. You're to blame for how he turned out. Who do you think raised him?" I shot back, giving Sam an even colder stare. "That was me." "Well, mostly me, but, to clarify, I had been covering Mike's school fees, tutoring, and living expenses since he started middle school." Sam stopped contributing to household expenses around that time. Initially, I reminded him, but after months of no response, I gave up. "If you claim to have contributed, then pay the overdue expenses for school and housing for the period since your son started middle school." "I can't afford that kind of money, but you've been living a luxurious life." I retrieved an envelope from the drawer and handed it to Sam, containing his bank statements. "Managing our finances has been my responsibility since we married. While not monthly, I have been updating it more frequently recently, so I knew everything about Sam's finances." "You spend most of your salary each month and have debts, right?" "I won't take on that burden." "But isn't marriage about supporting each other?" "That's why we're divorcing." "You can't be serious," Sam stammered, his face draining of color. Mike and I then escorted Sam out, locked the door, and ended the chapter. "Goodbye, then." "Wait, you can't just lock me out of the house." Dodging Sam as he tried to cling to me, I got into the car. Mike approached Sam with a smile. "You're in the way. Cars need to pass through here." "You, what kind of son talks to his father like that?" "That's because I don't have a father anymore." "Hey," with a smile, Mike bid farewell and climbed into the car. Ignoring the dumbfounded Sam, I started the car and drove towards the sushi restaurant. A few days later, Sam hadn't shown up. There was much to sort out with the divorce and dividing assets, but for now, it was back to work. Just as I settled at the computer, I heard a high-pitched voice from the courtyard. "Hey, I know you're there. Come out and talk to me." Reluctantly, I stood up. I knew who the visitor was. "Please don't be so loud. It's disturbing the neighbors." "You wouldn't come out, that's why." The unapologetic woman was Juliana, one of the new trainees I had once supervised and Sam's mistress. "Aren't you supposed to be at work today? What are you doing here on a workday?" "I took a day off. I needed to talk to you." Twirling her hair, Juliana looked triumphant. "I'm taking Sam. You don't deserve him. And guess what? I'm pregnant with our second child." She rubbed her belly. I felt a headache coming on. "Do you have any idea about Sam's financial situation?" "Excuse me." Juliana looked at me, bewildered. I showed her Sam's bank statement, the same one I had shown him earlier. Juliana skimmed through it and burst into laughter. Stop kidding, Kelly. I know he's saved up much more. What are you talking about? Still laughing, Juliana dropped a bombshell. Sam told me that after the divorce, he's giving the house to me and I'll get a hefty sum from the property division. So, that's the plan. But Sam seems to be forgetting something crucial. I confronted Juliana with the truth. Unfortunately, this house is in my name. Since he hasn't contributed to household expenses and had an affair, the divorce will be his fault, and there won't be any property division. Plus, he'll have to pay alimony. Juliana was stunned. Her laughter turned to disbelief. I clarified it for her. This house was originally my family home that we renovated, so Sam has no rights to it. And with alimony and the debts he incurred from his affair with you, there won't be much left for him. It can't be true. Juliana, in denial, quickly made a phone call. As soon as the other party answered, she shouted into the phone, "Hey, this isn't what you promised. You said everything would be mine, right? Right now, I'm at Kelly's. Sorry, can you talk to him?" "What?" "Wait." Thinking it was pointless, I grabbed the phone from Juliana. It was Sam on the line. I spoke calmly. "How much more trouble are you going to cause?" "Kelly, it's not what you think. It's because—" "That's enough." "Another child, really? You're busy with another child?" Sam seemed unaware of the pregnancy. After a moment of shock, he quickly said he would come over and hung up. Juliana, upon hearing Sam was coming, was overjoyed. "Sam's coming. Great." He said we couldn't meet for a while. "Kyle misses him, and I really want him to come home." "Where is Kyle now?" "Huh? He's at daycare today." Juliana seemed puzzled by my question about the child, looking slightly annoyed. "I heard he fell off the balcony." "Oh, just a fracture. You left a 4-year-old alone." "Got a problem with that," Juliana responded defiantly, eyeing me suspiciously. Then she cheerfully spoke up. "Come on, how long are you going to make a pregnant woman wait outside? Make me some tea in the living room." I obliged her audacious request and prepared the tea just as Sam entered the room. Juliana, "Oh Sam, I'm negotiating right now. Just wait. I'll get the house." "Not happening, Juliana." "You're too late," Sam retorted. Juliana leaned on Sam and wrapped her arms around him, attempting to assert her presence, but I felt no envy. "Sorry, but I'm not giving up the house. Besides, if I leave, this place will be too big for you alone, don't you think? Who in their right mind gives their family home to their husband and his mistress?" Sam looked embarrassed at my pointed words. Juliana quickly interjected, "The house we're in now is too small for me, Kyle, Sam, and the baby. You only have your son, right? Give it to us." Her audacity, even during this confrontation, surprised me. Growing tired of their antics, I laid out several photos in front of them. Juliana's face turned pale as she looked at them. "Did you follow me?" "Of course. You're my husband's mistress. That doesn't give you the right to take these photos." Juliana tried to hide the photos, but it was too late. Sam, with a flushed face, grabbed one and confronted her. "What's this?" "Ha! That's just a friend. You go to the hospital arm in arm with a male friend." The photo clearly showed Juliana happily arm in arm with a young man leaving the doctor's office, looking like a couple. I calmly filled in the details. "He works at a nightclub and you're his client, right?" "How do you know that? And you've been to a motel with him several times." "That means the second child is—" Before I could finish, Sam stood up, turning to Juliana. I didn't know you were so promiscuous. Kyle isn't even my child, is he? It's over. I'm divorcing you." "What about the money?" "He's not my child, so why would I give anything to her?" As Sam and Juliana began to argue, I couldn't help but smile. Then, misunderstanding something, Sam gave me a sickening smile. This was all a moment of madness. "Now that it's clear he's not my son, it's over with her so we can start over, right?" "What are you talking about?" "Shut up. Get out." Juliana, also infuriated by Sam's selfishness, resisted with a red face. Amidst this, I spoke calmly. "That's impossible. I never want to see your face again." "Don't say that. I physically can't stand it. Just seeing your face makes me feel sick." Sam seemed utterly shocked by my words and froze. Then, I turned on the laptop I had left on the edge of the table. Smiling at them, I said, "Here are the witnesses to your affair." "What?" "Mom," Juliana also exclaimed in surprise. "Mom, I had actually connected them by phone earlier to discuss future plans." Juliana interrupted as I was about to have a work call. What? Mom, has I've heard everything. After all Kelly has done for you, you're a disgrace. Don't ever set foot in her house again. That's it. Sam, firmly cut off from his family, left the room without any energy to argue for reconciliation. Mom, wait, I can explain. I didn't raise you to be a home wrecker. You'll be staying at your uncle's farm from tomorrow. What? No way. Juliana's uncle runs a dairy farm, a place where people work almost continuously without breaks. I felt a bit sorry that she had to go to such a place. A part of me thought she got what she deserved. She ended up crying on the spot, and her mother came to pick her up. After everyone left and quiet returned, it was already evening. I sighed with relief. Although I'm on a flexible schedule, I prepared for a late night of overtime. I'm home. Welcome back. Hey, how about pasta for dinner? Sounds good. Where shall we go? As soon as Mike returned, we began looking for a restaurant. Finally, everything felt over. Later, Sam and I divorced through our lawyers. He apparently also broke up with Juliana. My in-laws apologized profusely, making me feel guilty for their plight. We agreed to continue our relationship, which brought them to tears. Sam paid alimony for his affair and half of Mike's college fees. It seems he further indebted himself and hasn't been seen around lately. I've received my due, so his whereabouts no longer concern me. It might sound cold-hearted, but that's truly how I feel, and I can't change that. Juliana was taken to her uncle's farm by her relatives. She's up at dawn every day, working hard under her uncle's supervision. She left the company shortly after, and many are relieved that her absence has improved efficiency in Sam's department. Her children are being raised by her parents, and both are said to be thriving. Thankfully, Kyle's injury wasn't serious, and he's now running around as usual, which is a huge relief. Sam was dumped as soon as his money ran out. Mike has successfully entered his first choice university and is studying hard. He plans to start working soon to help with finances, which almost brought me to tears. As for me, I'm still dedicated to my job. A project I proposed was accepted, and I'm enjoying my busy life as its lead. Also, I've been approached by a man from the project's partner company who is 10 years younger and has been patiently waiting for my divorce. I've told him about Mike and my lack of interest in remarriage, but he's willing to wait. We've been enjoying meals together, and I find our time very pleasant. Our tastes in food match perfectly, which is quite endearing. Mike even suggested considering remarriage with him, so I'm thinking about it more seriously now. Mom, are we going to be late? We need to hurry. We have a restaurant reservation, a gift for my mother-in-law to celebrate Mike's college acceptance. Mom, I'm excited. Me too. We laughed and got into the car, hoping this happiness would last. With that thought, I drove us to the restaurant.